Good afternoon, class. Today, in my video, I'll be going over chapters 1 and chapters 3 of the text, some of the key learning objectives, and some questions that came to mind as I was going over these two chapters. In the first chapter, chapter 1, Your Chosen Profession, some of the key learning objectives or some of the things that brought up in this chapter. Why do you want to teach? That was, to me, was the biggest question. When you want to get into a course of study and into a profession, you might want to know why you're doing it. For me, the biggest thing was to make an impact, to serve and to make an impact on children. I've been able to do so as a coach and in a very small, unique setting, and this will give me an opportunity to expand on that and to reach a broader population through teaching. Some of the other things that this chapter goes through, the challenges of being a teacher, some of the difficulties that you'll face, and so the benefits of teaching. In the book, it really just goes over the financial benefits. Really, one of the things that resonated with me was the pay. How it's not commensurate with the job. While they made great improvements on teacher salaries in probably the last 20 years or so, there's still a long way to go. But again, that's I think we'll go later on. We'll talk more on that, I'm sure. And then why teacher introductions are important, really introduction programs for new teachers, and really that's to help with retention. It's very difficult when you become a new teacher. I'm sure, while you're taught in school, it's much like when I went to an academy, you'll learn the basics and the idea and the theories and the of teaching. But the practical application is going to be completely different. It's one thing when I was a new agent. First thing my FTO, my field training officer, told me was everything you learned at the academy. That's just your introduction. It's going to be completely different. And I'm sure being a teacher is a lot like that. While school's going to give you the fundamentals of teaching. One of the things my wife said, the pedagogy of teaching, it's not really going to prepare you for what you're going to see out in the real field, if you will. Which brings us to the next point of the chapter, which is mentors. Having a mentor in any profession is incredibly beneficial. I have a mentor now. I mentor several young agents, and it's something that gives you an opportunity to bounce ideas off of, to somebody to aspire to, and get information from. So having a mentor is a great opportunity. I would definitely look for one as I become a teacher, which I pretty much have one with my wife. But I'm sure there'll be others that'll provide that mentorship as well. And I suggest all of you, when you go into teaching, or if you're in teaching now and you don't have one, to definitely seek out one. And then we go into what highly qualified teachers are. There's several standards. Basically, there's a set standard through New Mexico Teach that basically tells you what a highly effective teacher is. But to be a highly qualified teacher, there's a lot of things that we go into, and we don't really have time to in this video to go through all of them, because I could talk for probably an hour after discussing with my wife what she sees as a highly effective teacher. And then some of the other things I saw was how to gain experience. Of course, there's substitute teaching. Things that I did was like coaching. I instruct now in my office and to other agents and agencies. I've had the luxury of teaching, so they've given me a lot of experience doing that. And my question, of course, for this chapter was, what was my inspiration to teach? After reading all of this and all the things that are included, Why do I want to do it? And again, as I said from the beginning, it was to reach out and to have an impact, to serve other people. Definitely not the benefits aren't what I'm looking for. The financial gain really isn't something I'm looking forward to. It's just being impactful, and having a positive impact on people. Chapter three, that was a difficult one for me, and that goes into what are schools now. Schools have changed tremendously from when I was in school 20 years ago. Well, maybe it's even longer, 25 or so years ago, to what they are now. Now they've really got into more of a social interaction, more of everything to everyone type school setting, where it's more of teaching kids how to become or preparing them to become successful in our ever evolving and changing world. More social skills, things of that such. Which brought me to my question. Really, teachers have so many things to do now, becoming counselors and reaching out socially and ensuring equality and stuff. But those aren't things that are dictated when they're grading schools. It's really still more on the testing side. So there's a lot of things that are maybe contradictory in my opinion, as these things all help you become good students, which I understand that, but they're so in this chapter I made them so important, yet they barely touched on what really makes a school successful, and that's obviously this assessment tests. So hopefully we'll talk more about that later, as I'm running out of time. So thank you very much.